Gonna just be doing another sketchbook drawing video. Been really enjoying doing these because I'm getting super far in the sketchbook. Kind of drawing it in the evening if I feel like it. I was kind of having to fight my paper. I eventually got a clip to keep it out of the way. The paper on the side, the little notepad thing, it's like a hotel notepad or whatever. I just use that so that I can get the gunk of the pen off and test some of the ends of the markers and stuff that I pull out. Just to make sure they're not too dry to use. So I was just gonna do straight to pen. My idea was that maybe if I did straight to pen, I would save enough time that I could actually do a second video in the same day. And then I would have a couple weeks kind of covered, and I wouldn't have to worry too much while I was focusing on some business stuff that needs to get done that I have put off. So that was the idea, and it worked out. I did end up doing 2 videos in the same day. So this side profile thing that I'm doing is kind of a comfort zone thing for me. Something that I do if I'm at a theme park or whatever, which is kind of rare, but even so, I get really anxious in lines, so I just like to draw. And my sister always carries around a purse or a bag, so she'll usually keep things for me in there, and I'll just take them out and draw in lines, or draw when we're sitting at a restaurant. So most of the time I'll start out with something like this that's just a side profile. It's really quick, it's kind of easy. I've defaulted to them for a really long time for warm-ups and things. I actually used to be horrible at doing side profiles. And then one time I just decided I didn't want to be garbage at it anymore, and I started practicing all the time, from pictures, just from my memory, everything. And now they're definitely a comfort zone to me. Especially with all these spikes and things. And yeah, so then the other day, I was going to mention this and I just barely remembered. I wanted to mention that I heard that we were going to have the cattle coming in around April. So I'm probably going to be working around May. So we'll see how many videos I can do in a month when that begins, because I don't really know how my time's going to be sectioned out. Because I will have that job and probably the start of one of my other seasonal jobs. So, yeah. Plus our little business. So we'll see. If I could keep up on it, that'd be awesome, because I do really enjoy making videos. And it gives me time to just kind of sketch most of the time. Just adding some depth. I do this a lot. I just draw lightly and then go back in and start shading or adding my deep blacks. I set that marker out that I used in the last one for the deep shadows, and I don't even think I use it. Felt a little clumsy doing this drawing. I think I was just trying to be quick and not take a crazy amount of time so that I could kind of keep more of the full drawing in instead of having to do too many jump cuts. Gotta add like a billion horns everywhere. I have done that forever. Horns and piercings. Oh, and scars. Yeah, definitely scars. Huge hallmark for me. I can go back through my notebooks from when I was, gosh, 7, 8. And yeah, there's the scars and the piercings and the horns. I think I used to draw more wings though, and I don't really anymore. And then everyone had those, like, I don't know, crazy accessories that I just don't think anyone would actually want to wear. At least I would never be so devoted to that many things. I just feel like it'd take forever. 50 bracelets and 60 rings, and yeah, it's too many. Though I definitely had that thing way back in the day where I wore a bunch of those stretchy, rubbery bracelet things. Too many, bro. I tried to, it might be weird, but I tried to keep the cap noises in. I really like the click that they make when you open and close them. Especially for the Tombos and the white gel pen. The jelly rolls have a great click. It's just nice. I'm just kind of blocking this one in a little bit. I wouldn't even say blocking, it's like laying it in. There's not a lot of shapes going on. I'm trying to figure out where the eye sockets are. And then I'll usually draw in the bridge of the nose. Pretty much like I'm thinking of a skull, because that's what I'm doing. Though I will say I was kind of disappointed in how high I made the chin. I feel like it could have gone a little bit lower, and then I think I should have like overlapped the chin over one of the horns that I put on it. You'll see what I'm talking about later on. I'll try to remember to point it out. Aside from feeling like I was kind of rushing these, I had a lot of fun doing this page. It's been a little while since I let myself draw straight to pen. And then around the time that I was doing these, I had been doing just a lot of digital painting on my computer. Because I was making a page of these like really fat birds. And they were taking a lot of paintings, so I was taking them from the huge page that I sketched them on and then doing them individually so that if we needed bigger sizes for cups or whatever, it would be available. So the painting took quite some time. It took me days and days and days to finish that. So if I was sketching, it just was kind of in the evening and not very much. So I really had the itch to just kind of mindlessly sketch or write on a story or, you know, pretty much anything. Anything a little more creative than just painting. So, yeah. It was a really nice break, I think. Not that I super hate painting or anything. It just has a different feeling to it. And then the birds were like super fast to ink because I just slightly caricatured them, so if you can even call it that. For this guy, I wanted kind of like a villain character. So I was just trying to make him a little sharp, and I really enjoy giving people kind of a hook nose. I think they're very attractive. Actually, I almost gave him a boxer nose, or what I think of as a boxer nose. It's like the nose that juts out, and then near the end it kind of squishes back into the face. It just kind of recedes, and I really like that. If you want to add a lot of characters to someone really quickly, the nose, man. It always works for me. felt a little nervous drawing his mouth. I don't know what about it was making me uncomfortable, but okay, see right here where I'm doing this horn? I end up putting the chin over the top of it. Why? Or not over the top of it. I don't put the chin over the top of it like I wanted to. Or at least it ends up, see right there, it ends up looking, ugh. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's okay. Something to think about. I was thinking about it later on. And I was sad. Kind of ruins the depth a little. I love weird eyebrows. If they're short, if they're spiky, if they have like breaks in them, I just think it's so awesome. Probably just the part of me that watches way too much anime. I've always been into like a lot of shonen and stuff like that, so you know the types of characters. And I'm sure you can read it, but this is just a Bic pen. Just one of the soft touch ones. I'm pretty sure it's just concerning the feel of the barrel. Because it has like a soft coating. But the soft coating holds the pen cap on sometimes, and you're trying to take it off, and yeah, you'll nearly punch yourself in the face. It's pretty strong. No doubt you've seen this in a few of my videos where I add kind of a separation of the face and the rest of the cranium with horns, as if they're wearing a mask, but it is their actual face. So yeah, I've been doing that a lot lately, and I once again did it here. Then just trying to get enough hair on top of his head. Originally, whenever I was first sketching it out, I was going to make it really fluffy and curly. And then I just ended up giving him dreads. It just ended up fitting the shape that I had sketched so much better than what I'd been thinking about, so that's how that came to be. And then I just add parts here and there until it feels balanced to me, and I feel like I've actually followed the shape of his cranium a little more. And then I was just trying to add a bunch of wrinkles to his face to make it look more convincing, the smile that he was wearing. Have his face actually react to it. The hair took probably the longest. And then none of this is sped up. Sometimes I go a little fast on the hair, but it's not sped up. I'm just like, this is taking forever. So, I kind of wanted to address the fact that I've just got like a ton of subs and I have no idea why. I really appreciate you guys coming in and watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. I am trying to be more consistent. At least while I have the time to be more consistent and don't have a solid excuse. So, hopefully you like what's to come. My next video will be a digital drawing. It's just some sketching. And it's really funny, you're gonna see some similarities between how I draw in this sketchbook and how I draw on my computer on the Mischief program. They don't do updates for it anymore, which is really, really sad. It got bought out and just absolutely nuked, so yeah, I just use it while it still works because it's my favorite. It's like an infinite canvas and stuff, and I really like not having any borders to what I'm drawing. I just fly all over the place. So I look forward to posting that video. And hopefully it's not too boring. I kind of shared my screen. I had my camera angled in a very wild way. I was crooking my neck weird. But that's okay because it was worth it. And yeah, so I recorded the screen and then recorded me drawing on the screen. And I put those together, so that'll be interesting. Or I think it'll be a little interesting. It was pretty fun. Like I said, they were both those videos were made on the same day. I think it was the 8th question mark. But yeah, I was really feeling like drawing that day. I just kept thinking, man, I really want to draw in pen. I really want to draw in pen. And I was really nervous because I knew I was going to make a video because some of my family was going to be gone, so it was going to be pretty quiet. So I was like, yeah, I gotta do it. But I just had to draw in pen. And I didn't know how it was going to turn out, and luckily I'm not too dissatisfied. So hopefully that's the same for everybody else. That little splash of red. These are some cheap little pens that I got forever ago, and I still have a few of them that still work. And so occasionally I'll just throw some of the colors into a bag, and I'll just use them as accents. They're completely water-based, so, definitely not waterproof, and they do the trick. They can also draw really thin. I like that a lot. And you can get some thick lines with them too. And I haven't noticed the nib pushing in or getting squished. Not that I have a really heavy hand or anything, but they're pretty nice. I like them a lot. I have a lot of little pens like that I just kind of carry around with me for accent colors. Or for minor sketching. So, just adding some more depth. Gotta use my grays. I was kind of sad because I think the lighter one that I used for this picture, or for this page rather, it's getting dry. I think I have one more in my little bin thing. But, yeah, that's so sad. So sad. I used to use some of the... What are they called? I think they're by Sakura, but the gray tones of those markers, if I can remember, maybe I will put a picture up. But yeah, I really like those, and I used them for a long time for studies. But they kind of dried up quick for me, which is sad, but yeah, for stuff that's throwaway, I would really like to have something that lasted longer. That's why I started using the Tombows. Luckily, I've had these for a couple years, and I use them quite a bit in my sketchbook, and they've kind of held on, so that's good. Once I start another sketchbook, I'll probably go back to using ink wash a little bit more, because I really like the effect. And that'll maybe save my markers for my studies and things. I really like the overlapping teeth on this dude. Tell you how long this actually took me in real time, but I cannot remember. I think it was just over an hour for the whole page. It took me a really long time to do the little background thing that I do, though. And then part of that doesn't even get filmed because my camera died, but it's not really that important or that entertaining. It's like 2 seconds of scribbling a few darker lines around the faces. But you'll see it at the end. I took a picture, so. I like when I finally pushed that back. So I could get that mask look I was talking about that I like quite a bit. I didn't separate it on the head quite the same, but it's the same idea. I always end up going over these videos 2 to 3 times while I'm editing. That's just so that I can see it and be like, oh, that's a little boring, or oh, I'm feeling a little bored watching this, and then I just kind of do a jump cut so that, I don't know, my brain gets that like, oh, something's new, and yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's enough and the jumps aren't too crazy. Since I still like showing most of the drawing. Probably really shouldn't say process because it's not really much of a process. It's just sketch. Yeah. Oh, that poor marker. Been through so much. I like it though because these are water-based, so whenever you go over the top of it enough times and the paper is a little saturated, as long as it can handle it, it will blend them a little bit. Kind of like alcohol marker. Not perfectly smooth like that, which is kind of nice. But yeah, you can get that kind of shading. I noticed that a lot more with the Strathmore toned papers because they're thicker. They would actually blend, and I really like that. And this paper is pretty decent about it as well, so I do like to use that. Then my fancy little jelly roll. Obviously, gotta add the little shiny bits. Show off the little heads. Then I ended up feeling later on like there's too much of like an empty space on either side of them. So I just drew another person, another face, I should say, on the right side right here. It's not perfect, but it did serve its purpose of filling in the space and giving a little bit more weight to the edge of the page. And then whenever you look over to the other side with the way that I kind of hatched the background and stuff later, it, I don't know, feels a little bit more balanced. I do not know what I was originally doing with that hair. In the middle of drawing it, I was kind of confused. And I'm like, you need to figure this out. So I took a break to draw on the face. And then I was like, okay, I think I can fill the hair in around this with some sort of surety. I would be in the middle of drawing and then I would tune back in and realize that I hadn't been like 100% paying attention. Just zoning out, having my own thoughts. Bubbles were a big theme for me that week. drawing out of the frame like a winner. I just wanted to make them look like they were fluffy. They had some sort of dimension. Went a little dark right here. I almost was gonna shade the whole thing. Like, this is gonna take too long, bro. You don't have that kind of time. Some hatching. Messy, messy hatching. I remember I used to sit for hours and I would draw in pen, just straight to pen. I had a bunch of colored pens and I would just shade and shade and shade and make these really detailed faces and hands and things like that. And I don't know if I have that kind of patience anymore. And here I started doing some longer hatching. Have to be careful because if I'm trying to draw super straight lines, my wrist likes to just toss itself backwards or slam down really hard on the paper. I'm sure you've seen it a couple times when my hand just kind of like throws my pencil slightly or knocks it down really hard suddenly when I'm trying to draw. So I have to be really careful when I'm doing lines because that's what likes to do it the most. I just had to fix that as soon as I zoomed out. The head looked weird. Da-da-da! Well, tell me what you guys think. Have a good day or night, and bye!